Am I live? I guess I am. I am, folks. Oh, I am live. I am live, so we're gonna do. I'm just thinking if we could do a little bit of rapid games and also like maybe blitz games for a change. Just want to make sure I'm live. Everything is okay. Yeah, I'm live here.
Right now, when you walk into a Burlington.
Oops, I'm just watching my stuff here. All right, I'm back. I'm back. All right, I'm live. All right, I'm back. I'm live. All right, so we're gonna do maybe blitz games. We'll see. Maybe blitz games, bullet games. I try to do rapid only when it comes to specifically um, YouTube. But it's okay to do a little bit of a change, right? I mean, it may not be able to explain a lot of moves. We're gonna do rapid though. It's a little bit of a mix. We'll try bullet, blitz, rapid. All right, we're playing goofy stuff here. This is all about speed. Yeah, it's hard to explain moves when you play bullet. It's just very difficult to even follow, right? Take, sir, take. He's gonna play here. Not so fast. F6. Oh, he took the wrong way. Bishop takes. All right, so maybe this ending is not F5. We take. Oh, he's trying to do this. We trick you, sir. We could trade. Supposedly, I missed the move here. Oh, I got tricked. I got tricked. Okay, now we're attacking here. Oh. 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 All right, it's all about the speed, sir. No stalemates. No stalemates. All right, maybe one more. No stalemates here. So when I play bullet, I play like bingo kind of openings. I try not to play like main line stuff, except the London, I guess, and also a couple openings like the Petrov, but I try not to. Yeah, he could take though. He could take. Nice move. Queen G6. Nice defense. C5. I missed this move. Should he take? Take this mate. Watch out. Watch out, sir. He's watching out. He's trying to play here, but his mate's still happening. Take here. This will be a bad move by me, though. Should have played here. Yeah, that's a safe approach. Safe approach. I play here. Oh, he's still here. Actually, A5. So you cannot take. This is hanging. Now we trade, sir. Now we trade. There's no stalemate, sir. No stalemate. Backmate. Not mate. Mate here. All right. Now that we did some bullet, it's a combination of stuff here. Let's see if we could play maybe two. Let me see if everything is working. We could do, let's say, maybe a blitz game. 1 or 2 blitz games, and then we could do like rapid. All right. So we could do a little bit of explanation here. So g6 is a modern defense. Bishop g7, c6, d5 is what I play. You know, it's like a system. It's easy to like. So f6 is playable here. You could play take. That's fine. Knight e5 is playable. Here I could take a knight e4. It's knight e4, right? So we get the bishop pair early on. So he cannot take here. The queen is under attack. This one is not usual. I mean, you can still take here. This is maybe e5. You take here. We open up for the bishop. So should be good stuff. So this is probably, if anything, black is slightly better, but maybe not even close to winning or anything. It's probably equalized. But probably black was the chances here. So bishop c2 is defendable. So here it's going to play rook e1, I guess. True. Still try to expand on the other side of the board. He's hanging on, of course, playing well. This is a tough decision what to do. He's looking at this kind of stuff. Probably take, and I'm counting on, you know, knight versus bishop. I'm assuming the knight is better because I could always play. So the knight could play here. So this is actually passive move by white. So maybe I put the knight on e6 attack here. So maybe trade one pair of rook. And knight e6 with the idea of attacking d4. Maybe here should be winning ideas, supposedly. Rook e6 is not an easy move to find, like, you know, for people, you know, they don't look at this kind of rooks. But the point is to get the rook in active square on b4. So he's actually defending, so he's very... I mean, maybe I could try this, but... Oh. I guess I screwed up here, though. Supposedly... Yeah, that doesn't look very good for me, though. Gotta offer him a draw, but he's not gonna take it. Oh, he's allowing this. So knight f5, and that's a big change. So should have took the draw though, sir. Because this actually takes, I don't have the same trouble. And also I could have took here, which is... Okay, now I could take on h4. He's not actually misplaying this big time, supposedly. So here wants to play here. So all I have to do is defend these pawns. Like I could play here. He could still play bishop c2, but I think there's always knight takes h4. Knight takes h4. He wants to play here, but this is really like passive city here, supposedly. Yeah, what is he doing here? This pawn is not promoting, I don't think. This is like too... As a matter of fact, I could promote first. I mean, he's probably not sure what he's doing. I promote first. So, I mean, I could also stop the promotion from here. So I play here, and it doesn't matter what he does. I'm just up a queen, up everything. It's shocking that he's playing on, though, considering I still have a minute. Not much going on, and he offered a draw for no reason. Resignation is key, sir. All right, one more blitz game, and then we could do You know, we could do probably rapid now. So we could play something different, knight c6. I played this yesterday, wasn't I? Played this yesterday. So this is a line. I haven't played this like in maybe in 50 years. Yeah, not 50. I'm just kind of joking, of course. So this is actually like the structure they do. I'm not even sure if I'm playing the right line. There's e5 ideas happening. There's also queen b3. I'm actually misplaying this big time. Does it feel like it's safe at all? I think he should have took with the bishop, not... Because now I have here, if he goes queen c4, there's maybe here. He's gonna play here, I guess. Actually, he has to be careful which knight. If you go with the wrong knight, there's always c6. So let's say if he goes with this one, c6 is playable. Then we win a piece, supposedly. So he has to do. He went here. Wow, this is shocking. He figured that he's losing by losing the exchange, but he was not. He could have defended. He's gonna check or something. I don't have to castle, sir. So we kind of castle manually here. If knight d5, bishop d6. Oh, there's rook d1 action happening. Probably I have to exchange pieces if I can. There's rook d1 is happening here. So exchange. I'm up at an exchange, so trading is probably a good choice here. Oh, I misplayed. I forgot that this is hanging. I forgot that this is hanging. I misplayed it. Should have took the other way, I guess. It's fine, though. Oh, wow. The queen was under attack. This game is horrible, though. Oh, that was funny. He forgot that the queen is hanging. But I don't know why would he do this. Maybe rook d1 anyway. Like, you know, this knight is not that great. It's not great anyway. So, anyways, that was funny. We won games that we should never win, probably. Just want to make sure everything is okay from here. All right, we're gonna play rapid games. Looks like the streaming quality is okay. I'm just double checking everything is okay. So now we could play rapid games. We could explain moves now in an easier way. When I play bullet and blitz it's not good enough to explain. I mean, there are some people who could do it, but not necessarily me. So I try to do a flavor of things. People love bullet chess, and I try to do this. Like I could, if you check my YouTube videos right now, you would see that I have a record win in lead chess. I'm everywhere now, so I'm everywhere. So you could check this video out. Morgan, this female. That's potentially female. So here e4, we could try a win defense for change, just to try to prove that openings may not mean much. But this is actually the Owen defense is not equivalent to like the modern defense. Owen defense is pretty bad, I think. But I just play it to like avoid theory. But it's not that great of an opening, I don't think. People could play it, but it's not recommended. Anything is playable in a blitz game, even 10-0. When it comes to classical, you don't want to pick like Owen defense like an opening. You want to always play. That's actually the argument. But you could always play 1-0, this kind of stuff. If you play 1-0, 3-0, 5-0, 10-0, you could play any opening as long as your tactics is very good. So here I'm actually, Owen defense is all about like fianchetto the bishop. Sometimes it could transpose to Queen's Indian, but not here. So I play knight f6 to hit here. The problem here, people would play here in c3, and it looks like white is already have like a massive center. Not much you could do with black setup. So typically, white is actually always good, supposedly, in these lines. should be, right? Yeah, if you start pushing this way, maybe black might be okay. You don't want to overextend your pawn push, and I always tell my students not to push a pawn because you cannot take it back, right? Not a fan of e5 per se. I think the safest approach is like maybe knight d2 and some kind of c3, so you keep the center intact. You can still play e5, don't get me wrong, but maybe this gives like some kind of play when you play knight e5. He can still play c3 though, so the knight doesn't really jump. But let's say you're not really careful. Let's say he castles. That's actually the point. I could play knight b4. My argument here is very simple. I could get the bishop pair, and this bishop on b7 becomes like a long diagonal for no reason, right? So that's the reason why, like, you want to be careful when you make a pawn push, because it could give weaknesses somehow. It could give a diagonal weakness. Like, for example, when you play it here, then this bishop is actually active. So you want to be careful when you push a pawn in general. With pieces, you know, when you're dealing with different pieces, actually, you could always maneuver between the pieces, right? So it's very different from when you're dealing with pawns. Pieces could actually move around where pawns they cannot. Once you push the pawn, it's already there. He played this move. This move is it's shocking to me. There is a reason why it's shocking though. He's trying to play c4, right? And should you move the knight, this is hanging. This is the reason why it's shocking, right? So there's actually some nasty move here. Supposedly knight e3. This move is also playable. I'm assuming he might, you know, I'm assuming he might go for this kind of sack. I don't know. The point of knight e3, whether he takes this way, pawn takes, his bishop takes e4, and this becomes like the bishop pair that I'm talking about. Now, there are a different idea here, assuming he takes, but this feels like a little bit too much. Maybe he has a lot of pieces that he could do it. I'm going to do it for fun, even if it doesn't work. I'm assuming the best move is here, not so much like take. So the idea is very simple. Whether you take here, take there, it's this bishop takes b7. And, oh wow, he didn't do this. So he played here. And then the issue is, do I have knight takes g2? So this feels pretty odd, though. I mean, supposedly... Wow. I mean, if this is actually takeable here, my knight is stuck. If I were to do this move, king f1, bishop here, c4. That's interesting. There's also another idea. I wonder if I could check first when he plays c3. No, that doesn't seem to. I'm trying to play here, try to force c3 so I could play here, and then if he goes here, it's bishop e6, but it doesn't really work. This move is interesting. Queen d3, though. That's you don't see this every day. So if I were to take here with check, he goes here. This is met by c4. And if you play d5, you could take. So if you take, the knight is trapped. Wow, this is unusual. Wait a second. So this means my knight is really trapped. This is kind of funny. Wow, I may have to go back to d5. I did not see that d3 is working. This is very strange. And if I play here and queen takes, the knight is also trapped. And should I take here? And then my rook is hanging. This is very unusual. This is I don't see this every day, to be honest. I may have to like look over games to see if this is actually does happen. Yeah, this is very strange ideas here. So I may have to like they play knight d5 again, which is ludicrous because now I lost a turn for no reason. I'm the one losing turn here. All right, I may have to do this if c4, knight b4, but I'm just not enjoying what I just saw here. I actually felt like I could take on g2, but that feels like my knight is trapped. Very strange idea. Yes, sir, it's very strange. Yeah, this is actually doesn't happen every day. So maybe he could castle. I don't think he's going with c4. But... So c4 is knight b4, right? So before he takes here, his queen is under attack. He may play here, though, which is funny. He may play here so he could preparing c4. So the knight doesn't go here, and should he move the knight, his bishop takes b7. But I think I could still defend here. It's a pretty unusual game. Unusual stuff here, so wouldn't be so surprised if he plays here. Knight c3, it's also a plan, but it's still like knight b4. I don't think I could take here because bishop takes b7. He played c4, so I have to play. There's also bishop e6, but he just moves away, and then this is hanging. So for people not seeing what I'm talking about is the knight was under attack this way, so I have to move. He couldn't take because his queen is under attack. So queen e2. So if I take the same trouble happening... He takes here. Yeah. Wow, this is very strange. Very strange setup here, and I'm also losing a lot of time. I mean, if I take here, I have to play like c6, e3, knight e6. This is one of the horrible position. Horrible stuff here. Horrible stuff. I may have to play like d5. Wow, this is not a position I'd like to see. So e3 is... this is like passive country at this point. I mean, he's not going to allow this. He could still take, but... Yeah, this knight on b8 is not moving at all. This is like really bad. I just want to check one thing. Something is off about this move. We're going to check after the game, though. I mean, it's very strange. He castled. He's allowing d5. It's not good, though. Maybe I could delay d5 for now, but... Wow, this is like really bad position. Is like annoying me. It's just... Yeah, so the knight is like, this is like, you don't see this every day. The knight is on b8, it's stuck. I played the wrong move and I somehow am getting punished for it. And I have to review after this game to see if really bishop e4 feels like it's a strong move. So there's a lot of ideas. b4 is knight d2 even. So he doesn't want to do this, right? That's gonna help like black in some ways. You could always argue knight c5, so he's gonna keep these pawns intact. The real question is, how could I get my knight out? And the flag is also a concern, but I mean, I may have to play something like that bad to try to get the other knight to e6, but even then it's not really. So it's more like d5, f5, something along that line. f5 was idea as he takes, but this is not really the position you want to see. So if he takes here, let's try to make some moves here before I castle. I don't think he's going to take though, but maybe he can. There's also like he could move away, but yeah, he could move away that way. I could castle now. d5. You could play d5 here, and then d6. I mean, this is d6. That's what I want to see. d6, and this is like unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff here. This feels like a bingo game and not like a chess game. So d6, of course. Now this knight is like maybe even b4, and this is like some kind of nightmares. Bishop g5 even. So maybe I have to c5 and knight. Yeah, he's not even. She's not. I don't know if this is a female, but anyways, yeah, this b4, this allowing this move. I mean, it's just horrible. Stopping this. This feels like a game between 1200s. You know, it's not a game between two like 2400s. But anyways, especially for black. I mean, black is all my pieces on the back rank. I mean, and maybe I could win this game. If I were to win this game, that becomes that's something we could talk about the next 50 years. I mean, this position is pretty bad. Maybe he could even do anything he wants or she wants. I cannot play. I was debating if I could play here, but this is actually winning a piece in one move. That's the reason of b4. Now here he just sticks. I mean, I have no moves here, which is incredible. Look at this h4. I was not going to g5, but not cool. I have to sack. He could play c5. Could you believe this? c5 is coming. c5 came. This game is like completely nonsense. There's no moves here. Like, it's completely strange. Sacking a piece. I mean, what else to do except like praying? There's nothing much to say. I mean, this is one of the worst games in 2026. The funny part is he's taking time. Like, I don't even know why this person is taking time in this position. I mean, it's pretty simplistic position for white. I could win this game like blindfolded. But for some reason, we have some sinking process. So maybe I'm down a piece and it's okay. I mean, I was already down a piece. Yeah, this is also happening. I cannot take, by the way. This knight f6, supposedly mate here, mate there. I mean, that's what I want to see. So I have to play rook e7, which is also like very wacky stuff. So could we trade queens? Not really. You could even do this. I could take, I guess. Just down an entire rook, of course. Even time here would not do much. I mean, to be honest. He's gonna play rook e7. Very delusional game. Maybe king g6. I'm just down an entire rook here. It's laughable. There's nothing going on here. It's takes maybe. It's funny that he's taking time. I mean, he's up a rook. What else do you need, sir? Like a queen? Probably gonna get mated soon with the way I'm moving the king. So I'm defending this for now. So this is a check too. Nothing is happening at all here. This position is just lost. But hey, the time is part of the game. Wow. Wow. One of the worst game in history of chess. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw what just happened. I mean, to win a game like this, you may have to retire after that. My opponent is just playing bingo. I just want to see one thing. I mean, this game probably one of the worst I've seen in a long time. Maybe in the worst, for the past like maybe 10 years. I may have to go back now. This is one of the worst game ever. There's no words to explain this game. This game, and the fact that Black is winning too, it's horrendous. Down a rook, and the whole thing is corrupted here. This position is BS. I just want to know, like, bishop e4. Very delusional game. Like, it's hard to believe this is a real game. So here, I see. The bishop e4 is one of the moves. So I'm supposed to play what here? And this is already... Oh, okay, so e5 is playable. So supposedly, I mean, you could see this is Owen defense. Even in move like here, it's like plus, it's almost +1 here. That's kind of explain why the opening is pretty bad. So supposedly here, I played the wrong move. You know, I don't necessarily play this like 94. I mean, I don't get hit by this line a lot, so this is something like I need to know. So supposedly here, this c4, it's kind of a trouble. So this is actually what I meant. Like you cannot play this kind of stuff, and you just lose a piece. I don't want to spend a lot of time in this game because this game is horrible. I mean, by all it means, let's just play a different game, and it's different game, sir. Let's play b3. Oh wow, he played. He was not happy to see. This is actually, I mean, Nimzo Larson. This is like Nimzo Larson here from knight f3. So this is actually a very safe approach. Safe opening. I'm still laughing about the previous game though. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable game. So the idea is pretty simplistic. Bishop g2. Sometimes you play c4. It could actually transpose to an English, by the way. I guess maybe c4. You're looking at some kind of an English, maybe. Let's try c4 here. Yeah, here it's like English, which bishop b2. And now it's like the Reti opening King's Indian attack. So this is also could transpose back and forth here. So castles. This is very safe position here for white and also black. So e5 is a move. Supposedly he wants to do this. So play. I'm not really familiar with these kind of positions. Sometimes I used to play King's Indian, but it has a lot of ideas that you have to watch out for. So knight c3, maybe develop this knight over here. He could play bishop g4, but I don't think this is the idea. Yeah, h6. Not sure what he's trying to do. The bishop is on b2, so I was not going to g5 anyway. This move feels like it's a waste of time. And you don't want to waste time when it comes to like chess game, right? You always make sure if it's your turn, you're making proper move. H6 here. Supposedly we could play like this kind of structure. This is English, so things like this could happen. A lot of the English ideas, it's like a3, b4. Oh, so h6 is playable, assuming if he wants to play bishop e6 is kind of avoiding knight g5, and he wants to play bishop here. Supposedly that's an idea. So this is actually the plan. The plan to play bishop here or controlling this diagonal. If I play here, going to here, some kind of knight e4. Let's try this. Maybe I'm heading toward d5. So if he could play here, I wonder if I could play knight d5, even though it could double up the pawn, but it could also open up for like f4. Should I try this later? Not now, because it could give a weakness if you play like a pawn move. I'm assuming he's just gonna go with the plan. Original plan is queen d7. Yeah. So should we go with this one, knight d5? So if you have to be careful not taking that way, that kind of losing a piece. So if you take, which kind of ruined the whole plan for him, should he take with the bishop, right? That's not the idea. The idea is like here. So if he takes, this is a different plans for black. If he goes for this one, which he may still be able to play this kind of stuff on knight e4. I mean, he may still go for this one. Not sure entirely if this is a good idea, but there's also different ideas like 97. There's maybe, yeah, so he went with his original idea, which makes sense in a lot of ways. So I want to be careful not to allow this. Maybe I could still do it though. I could still allow this as long as I take here. If you play here, allowing this knight to get active on g3, g4, I may still defend it, the mate, but it could be an annoying attack, considering f5, f4 could happen later. I may still do this with a different idea in mind. He could take, but then I get rid of the one of the piece that he's attacking, right? So the queen could stay, but not so much, the knight. And there's actually different move order. You could do it this way. And supposedly take takes knight e4, bishop e7. But this is not that clear if I really want to do this kind of stuff. He's also takes, and f4. And then you cannot take because this is hanging. So I could still do this. Supposedly you could take... and f4 is like one... You don't play f4 now. It's knight g4 is a problem. So you could take here, bishop takes... And that's just actually what I mean by f4. So f4 meaning that you cannot take. You could, but you're just losing the bishop on f6. So the queen could stay here for like couple like moves, but it's not really. Unless he could take this knight and put it on g4, which he might maneuver it. He might maneuver the knight. So I have to be careful about this one. So here maybe it's 97. So I have to be careful about that one. But I could always play e4. So supposedly I could stop knight f5. So we could play f4. This is like a safe move. This is nothing like the previous game, though. Nothing like the previous game. So he played here. This is also very strong. Supposedly he wants to take. And you could still... this is still risky business, though. I mean, the point is actually... So this is actually a tactic here. Let's say I play like goofy move here, like e3. So the point is, if you were to take, right, he takes this pawn in g3. If you went back, so you took a piece and went back, queen takes h2 mate, right? And if here, and then you take back, it's take with check, and then he could take back on g7. So he could easily win a pawn. So you have to be careful that that's the reason why he's going back. So defending the bishop, and at the same time, and it didn't work. It doesn't work when you're here, and it's not the same concept, because if you take here, I could take, and then once you take on here, I could still defend, like knight f3 or something. There's no mate on h2. So he plays here, he's setting up this tactic, and if I take, knight takes. This is kind of funny, though. What to do here? This is possible. So if he takes, I could still take. He doesn't have the same idea because the knight is defending. So I may have to try this. Knight f3. So if he goes for this one, I could take. I think his king takes. Actually, maybe I missed the move here. It's queen g4. He could win a pawn. No wonder it looked wrong to me. But it looked wrong, but yeah. So he's gonna take here. This is actually a free pawn. Because if I take here, it's queen g4, king here. They didn't see it. Wow. They did not see it. Which is kind of a proof that, people make mistakes all the time, even tactical mistake. I don't know if I like this move, though. It kind of feels like it's a waste of move to me. I mean, maybe here he wants knight f5, but I don't see the... There's also take first. So maybe take first and e3, and then if knight f5, I could play queen e2. Maybe the pawn is weak on d3, though. Maybe still here, queen e2, but he could still take. May have to take this way. I don't think he's going for that one. This is not the point. He's going to take with the bit pawn. But I could see that the pawn is blocking access to the bishop on g7, and I'm actually looking at the time, so I have to like speed up. So this move is really tough to play because d3 is becoming a weak pawn, and I know ahead of time. So I'm assuming he's going to take here autopilot kind of move, queen takes. The reason I did this move because I'm looking for an active move like the queen. Knowing this is a weak pawn, but I'm also looking for like b7 in some lines, being, takeable at some lines. And also keeping a pressure on the F file. So let's say he goes here, queen takes. F7 is still like, tacking on F7. You went back. So I have to play queen e2. I'm also looking at the clock. So d3 is weak for sure, but it's only weak if you could win it. That's actually the argument, and he's making a claim that he could by that move. Why not, sir? Why not? Maybe I have to play here, but there's f5 action, so I may have to play rook d1. Have to be careful that he doesn't have e4 though. Supposedly I could still take. So yeah, pawn is only weak if it's attacked. It could be attacked. Is it winnable? It's a different story. So this is actually a good play by him. Supposedly this is actually the way to play. Maybe even f5. He could play active game with f5, avoiding any kind of any kind of like maneuvering with my knight. Like I could play knight d2, knight e4, hitting this pawn, knight f6 idea, so you could take a rook takes f6. But this move is probably met by f5, right? So the knight would be like stuck on d2, and d3 becomes now a big problem. Something, it could be a potential weakness in a serious way. I mean, this is what happens when you play some openings you don't remember the lines, or goofing off a little bit with the openings. But we can handle it. So he's basically saying I could win the pawn. I could double up though. So if he plays here, here. This is actually what I mean by is a weak pawn, but is it takeable? I could still defend. So any move like here. So this is still like takeable. So he has to be careful when you consider this move. He might, but the e5 might be hanging. It's funny that he may play f6 and get the bishop here. It kind of like not an easy move to play, but queen g4. This here? No, this takes. Actually, this move is playable, maybe. Supposedly here knight takes, but now knight b4 becomes serious. Knight here becomes serious. This is really passive, though, for me, supposedly. Maybe here, but I'm concerned about e4. That's the reason why. Maybe here he wants this kind of stuff. But here I think I have to take here, maybe some kind of trade, so... Hopefully king g2 is not a blunder. This feels like white is not coordinating the pieces very well. But if I were to play here next move, if it's white to move, maybe h3 would save a lot of the ideas that he's trying to do. There's also 1 minute left on my clock, so not much to do. Maybe even f5, but the queen would be stuck, I guess. But e4? So e4, I cannot take the bishop on g7 because this would be check. I suppose this is actually the concern, so I have to take that way. So he didn't play it. Supposedly he was concerned about something. Maybe here defending. So if he plays here, it may take though, supposedly. I have to do a little bit of defense here because obviously I'm like time-wise it's not going well. So knight c2 avoiding knight b4. This is pretty awkward way to play, but so defending against these possibilities against knight b4. Maybe maybe bishop c3 is met by e4. So this is still not easy for the white. All right, so here I wonder if I could take though. I could still take. I missed queen e4. I don't know if this feels lost. I cannot get back the bishop back here. Yeah, it feels lost to me. Could take. I mean, if he goes for this, maybe bishop b2. I mean, game's still on. But it feels like it's not safe. So any check here, I could probably escape that way. So this is actually met by oh, rook takes. It's queen d1. Queen d1. Trying to play this, but this is lost. I mean, trying to, if he promote, that's the point. Maybe I could take and queen d5. Maybe looking for some kind of a draw that it doesn't exist. I think even here it's winning. I don't think queen d5 is enough. So this is actually playable, supposedly. So bishop takes, queen d5. He may skip. He may actually defend the checks, king f8 or something. There's also like takes. Potentially you could take, but yeah, this is actually winning too. So you could even take and knight b4 should be winning. Yeah, knight b4 is winning. Actually, hold on a second. King d2. I mean, he's still, this is winning pawn ending, so this is actually, he could still promote and win. Actually, hold on a second. This is still, he could have played c1, but anyways. I don't know if what he did is correct because I don't have to trade now. This is actually the difference. I don't have to trade like the bishop for the knight. This is small details really matter. So I don't know why he did that, but it's okay. I mean, I felt like c1 was winning right on the spot. The real question is 2 pawns. So I mean, may not even hold. So he could still repeat it in. This actually feels like it's lost. Yeah, he has a pawn, and I don't think it's enough for me at all to do anything. d5, yeah. I mean, d4 is king d3, but this feels like it's winning. So this is still winning. Actually, supposedly winning. He could play here. Wait a second, what is this? Oh, I cannot stop the 2 pawns. Yeah. King g6. I cannot stop the pawns. I'm just one move short, so. One move short. Yeah. All right, we could play, but after I do have to like play one more game to explain the moves, and then we could play perhaps one unrated game. This guy is new, so I typically avoid people who are new. It was a nice game though. Supposedly, this is also a new guy or no? No, not a new guy. All right, so d4. Let's play my opening, something that I know. So c4 is playable. This is okay, supposedly. Yeah. I do give up the bishop pair, but it could get really complicated. So this line is interesting. I could take. It's normally a sack, but if you don't know what you're doing, it could be. I mean, right now I'm up a pawn. So he was threatening knight c2. This knight c2 fork here. So when I don't know if I enjoy this line by black, but he could take the pawn back supposedly, unless if I play b3 though. So knight here, bishop takes e2. So what happens if b3? I'm just trying to remember. Rook c8, knight d4. I will hang on to the pawn and see what happens. So b3 to stop him from taking on e2, whether with the knight or the bishop. Not enjoying this by black, because if white is able to defend, he's up a pawn. So let's say he plays here, knight c2. I always take knight d4. So up a pawn here might be enough. This bishop on here is being shut down for now. This is actually a good move, but supposedly I can still play here. And he may play f5. So if I were to take on e6, he's hitting the rook on e1. So it's one of the ideas that he might try. So f4 is also a plan. Bishop takes d4 is also a plan. So I'm trying to play bishop g2, but there's always knight here. But you know, maybe I'm stopping at 4. So he's trying to play. So the point of g3 is stopping this move because I cannot take it, kind of weakening up my pawn structure. He's trying to weaken up the pawn structure that I play. I don't know if I like h5 though, because maybe bishop h5, bishop h3 is possible in some line. Not a fan of h5, but sometimes this line you could do this kind of goofy stuff. If he takes, it's okay. May as well pre-move it, but he's not going to take that, I don't think. There's also like king d2. I mean, the argument maybe, I guess he has to castle though, maybe castling and then some kind of rook d8. The reason I'm not moving this rook because this allows knight takes e2. So right now, what I'm trying to tell black, I'm up a pawn. Should I exchange pieces here? This pawn becomes real. It's double pawn, but it's still a pawn though. So he plays here. This is where things are getting goofy now, which is may not castle now, which may be fine. May not need to castle. So I have to defend this rook so I could play here. So supposedly now it's king d2 makes a perfect sense. Now that I'm not going to castle. So the point of king d2 is to stop this knight from moving anywhere, even though the bishop's still on the diagonal, but it's something like here. Try to play this rook c1. Should he take, maybe even king takes. In some lines, rook takes. So he castles, which is a real move. Maybe I play bishop e2 first. This seems to be key. So the point is here on king d2, just to connect the two rooks. And that's actually what I meant by h5, not a good move. This may ring a bell, right? That's one of the reasons. He may lose a tempo defending it, or may have to lose it. So maybe king d2 is next move, but there's also e5. So e5 here, I take on f5. By the way, this is not a takeable pawn, so people tuning in. This rook is hanging, so I cannot do this. I mean, I could see knight takes here, knight takes e7, and takes here, but there's not enough to do this move. There's not enough. So this move is pretty accurate, though. So if I play here, it's e5, yeah. So maybe that's a problem. This is actually when I could play king d2. Actually, king e2. That's funny, though. Here, king e2, and then f5 might be hanging. Maybe. We'll take this pawn. So now it's 2 pawns. But what black is saying, I have enough compensation for, you're not castled, and knight e3 is passive. But even though the knight e3 is passive, is actually stopping all these knight c2 action. So if he plays here, which he might, he did not. So this was a move. It's actually met by king e2. King d2 is knight takes f2, right? So if he play here, knight takes f2, it's a free pawn, and then there's some circus happening, like e5 and all this kind of stuff. So when you play king e2, you're getting out of the d file and attacking actually the knight and this potential now knight takes f5, even though the rook is hanging, because knight takes, and I could take back. So there was a deep line here. He didn't like it. So that's the reason why he went with bishop e4. Now he's basically saying rook takes in some lines. Like maybe here, rook takes. King d2 is e5. We lose a piece in one move. Rook d1, it's knight takes c2. But what about f3, though? Supposedly it's a move. The bishop will be trapped here. Would it be trapped? He's likely to take. My concern is now this bishop is kind of stuck. Maybe some funky bishop rook g2. Doesn't happen every day, but wow, he played here, which is not what I expected he would do. But so now I could play g4 with the idea if he takes, rook takes, pawn takes, check. I mean, this is all about like who's getting his way around. It's double pawn, but I will still be yeah, but he has this move, which is pretty strong. May have missed it. May have missed it. Now I don't have this. Takes. May have to play rook d1 now. This is a big ouch. Big ouch. Yeah, this is hanging all across. So if I play rook d1, it's pawn takes. And then follows with bishop c3. This is like circus. Knight f5 here, knight takes. Not enough though. They have to do it. It's probably lost. They have to do it now. It's sacking. Obviously, bishop here, it's not the move. It's he's counting on taking. Take here. Take there. Maybe I'm counting on him, and but this doesn't work. This bishop c3 though. I mean, I want to play king d2 with the idea of like attacking here, but it doesn't work. Yeah, I could take the pawn. You could even take the pawn, which is so serious, because bishop c3, that should be mate. Close to mate. Should be mate, I think. Maybe he's looking at knight c4, but this is not really... Yeah, not much to do against this move. Not much to do, man. This move is coming now. Not much to do. I mean, this is really lost, supposedly. Don't think this works. This is also knight c2. This is lost, yeah. I mean, the point is maybe here, but he just sticks. I mean, it's all over the map here. Also e2, and it's trying to defend, but there's no defense. He just takes here. King c1. Not much I could do. This is completely lost. Should be resigning in a move or two. Even knight takes wins. Potentially wins. There's like here, rook d2, for example. I mean, it's circus. Not cool, sir. Yeah, this is not a good position. Not a good position at all. I mean, the computer might be looking at mates. Yeah, I just want to check one thing. He played this line so well. I guess around here, bishop g2 was actually a move. Maybe I missed this move completely, which the computer is basically saying it's equal. So I'm hitting on b7. I just want to double check if this move works, and it does. Supposedly here, b6 is actually what you have to do, which is kind of interesting. So the computer is basically saying, if this were to happen, white is okay. And you may have to still play b6, and then king e2. You can see the computer value is like giving me a draw. So h4, rook hc1, should you, let's say, take, which is not really needed. So you play, let's say, takes. This is not the move, Because here you could play rook c7, and then you have some targets, right? Against c7. So the computer is giving me this kind of stuff: bishop c6, and then king d8, and then some kind of rook e1. It's giving me this is like an equal. It's hard to believe this is equal though, but that's how you play. All right, one viewer wants to play me. Let me see. What's the username again? I mean, I could play viewers for now. I'm trying to try to play some educational games for now, but we could do one game for now with somebody. Yeah, this is. We do unrated game, but this is the only exception that I play people, but I'll try. One game, sir. I don't know if he's still here though, but is one viewer still here or no? I challenged and nobody accepted. Are you still here, Anna? Are you here? One more time, though. Try one more time. One more time. Challenge. Guess this user is not here though. We could play one more game. I just only have one more, only one more, one more game to play. I'm running late somehow. So one more game and explaining the moves. Maybe I could play, maybe even blitz game. Maybe make it 2 blitz games. So, equivalent to like we could play blitz games. Normally, I do like rapid. Rapid only on YouTube. I wouldn't say only, but so here this pan of attack, which is pretty strong for black. Supposedly e6, b5. I wonder if d5 is playable right now. I forgot the line, to be honest. Maybe d5 is takeable. Bishop g5. I do this. Should you trade? He's not trading. A6, b5, b5. I could take on d5. Hey, how's it going, sir? How's it going? He played here. So b5. Trying to play bishop b7. So if he takes, bishop takes. Do you dance, sir? Do you dance? If you want to play, you dance. So rook c1, queen c2 is playable with bishop takes f6, queen h7 mate. Good ideas, sir. Good ideas. Maybe actually here, knight b4, queen c2, knight b4. Before he gets to do this. Yeah, I've seen what's going on. So here's... So now we could do knight d5, seeing what he's doing. I wonder if he could play queen e4 again. I mean, it's not queen e4 again, but it's the same idea again. So maybe here... Supposedly you could trade. Maybe. You could trade, sir. But maybe I could take with a queen, so I could trade myself. Then knight d, queen d5. So you cannot play knight e5. You get mated on g2. So now I don't have to worry about this idea. The problem here was maybe white. This pawn is weak, but you know it's not as easy. He could still defend. So he's looking at this diagonal. He's still not giving up on it. So what if I do here? This is like he could take them. Well, he might do queen c2. He's still looking at the diagonal. He did not go for it. That's kind of strange. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? So if he moves away, I take on c3. He's gonna play here, which is pretty, pretty funny. Bishop, maybe bishop here, and then, I mean, black is getting what he wants, but is it enough? Actually, I could take a knight g4. Actually, this feels like it's good for me. Supposedly trade everything, knight takes e5. He doesn't have the mate ideas. Yeah, so this should be winning. So I take here. Actually, maybe take here. So knight takes. Still the mate. Maybe mate here if he's not careful. He doesn't have here. Maybe f3. He may have missed f3 here. So now queen g4. What is happening here? f5, so I don't have to deal with this diagonal anymore. He has to be careful where he's going with the queen, because if he goes here, his queen takes d4. This kind of a tactic here, you lose. Checkmate. There's also f4, but queen g6. Nice. I have to defend. Right here, maybe here. Do your dance, sir. Tricky moves. Knight f4, maybe. But I take. So I could take on c3. Yeah, this is difficult. Not rook g4, and he missed rook takes g2. All right, last game. Win or lose, it's okay. I offer a rematch, so rematch. Bishop g5. My opening. If you don't know anything about this, you have to tune into my YouTube channel. You would know about it. You would know all about it. Can talk about my videos. I just recently beat one of the 3100 supposedly in lead chess. New record. I'm trying to create some stuff. Knight c6. So this is actually pretty something that I've been playing for a long time. This setup. So knight c6 is possible. King h1. He could play here. Maybe queen b6. The only advantage I have against this guy is actually the speed, right? I mean, he's an international master, but he's beatable. That's because of the speed, right? So that's also something that it goes for me. It becomes difficult when you play people who are higher and also play just as fast as you are, right? So it becomes a problem. And that's the reason why I could lose, right? The only advantage in this guy that I have over it's just the speed. Like I have a clock advantage. G5. This is pretty wild, sir. Supposedly here it takes on d4. I'm not sure if g5 is really the move. Yeah, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna talk about it, but you give me till this game so I could I don't get distracted. I will tell you what to do. So the king is it's what I call is naked at this point, but he can still defend supposedly. I have to be careful still, even though I feel like I'm doing well. I was looking at e5, supposedly to open up, but maybe here he's still bishop e5. Yeah, that's not cool. So here bishop e5 again. Ooh, that's kind of nasty though. All right, here at knight e4. Maybe he missed this move. So if he takes with the bishop, which he's probably aiming for, knight e4. So attacking the rook. And then maybe queen h6, knight f6, h7. This is pretty strong if you think about it. So knight e4 here, attack the rook first before he get carried away. Maybe he could play this move, but I have rook h3 though. So rook h3 is actually like combining the defend and attack same time. So this queen h4 is like mate on h2, right? So rook h3 is like, no sir, you're getting hit by attack. You know, so he plays here, but the real issue, should I go here? Is it really winning? So supposedly here is this knight g5. He sack. So that's okay. So here, some kind of f6. Or I could play here. Supposedly f5. I'm running out of the time. There's no ideas around here, but he's actually stopping this, which is key. So he plays f6. No, that seems to be wrong, maybe. I could do this. The reason it's wrong because I have rook h3. Yeah, the reason he resigned. This move order is key though. I could show you, but hold on a second. I just want to check one thing. I want to check everything is correct for my streaming here. Everything is okay. All right. All right. So the reason he resigned. So for example, this move order. So if he goes here, I was just distracted by something and I had to like deal with it, but I'm back here. So the point of this move, if he goes here, it's checkmate. So that was actually the concern, right? I was actually looking at if I needed to do like something else, but this move order means that he has to play here, and then that's actually the issue why he resigned. So if you looked over, it's like rook versus two bishops. This is over considering that there's still pawns at the board. I was looking for ways around here how to get to this. This move order was what I was looking at, but I actually forgot that he's attacking here. So he's defending all these diagonals. And also I cannot play here because of this bishop. So I was looking for ways to like, and even after here, I was looking at maybe f5. But this actually, the reason for this move, so the difference between f6 and f5 is kind of like, I forgot that even here, there's actually, the bishop cannot be played here, this checkmate. So I forgot about the checkmate once he plays bishop g7. So that's the reason why it's lost. We are 27:30. So you still here, Aiden? You're talking about like before I get going, I could answer this question. You talk about chess tournament. Is it first chess tournament, or like you played already and he's just making a comeback, or the first couple tournaments. Hopefully he's still here. I just wonder if e5 was the best move. Oh, there's actually plenty of moves here. I mean, look at this. The computer is giving me knight h7. Knight h7 is the top move. I mean, that's how bad this position is. And it's like +2. Supposedly here you cannot take, though. There's e5 and you're getting mated. This is actually the mate. Now, e5, this kind of sequence, the rook gets to g3, though. That's actually the reason why it's mate. You cannot take that. The point is you're hitting the rook. And if you play bishop e5, this may be knight takes f8. If you move the rook, then rook g3. So that's actually the problem. Bishop g7. So what's wrong with e5? Bishop takes, and it tells me it's a draw after knight e4. That's crazy. He wants rook d5, and I think he missed. Oh, there was f5. There was f5 here. Not rook takes, it's f5. You can still check, but I have nothing. Aiden, is still here? I don't know if he's still here. There's some kind of delay anyway. So I might answer this question anyway. You may go back. And if people have similar question, maybe that answer the question for all of them. So if this is the first tournament tomorrow, or in general, let's say people are considering to play tournaments. So my students, for example, I always tell them, there's a big majority of my students, they don't want to play tournaments like OTB tournaments. There's a reason for that. Some people don't play tournaments because, like my situation, like I have a sick family member here. I cannot leave my family member, dealing with cancer and be away for like a couple of days. So that would be one of the concerns, right? Some people cannot play tournaments because it's far away from the place they live in, so they have to travel. Not many people could travel. So when people could play tournaments, I always encourage people that play tournaments anyway, because it's like when you press a clock, you make an eye contact with your opponent, the time pressure, you're recording your moves, writing your moves, making claims like flag. It's very different experience than online. Because when you play online, you don't have to bring the clock. There's no chess board. There's digital board. However, people, when they play over the board, they may play better. You don't know. You don't know if you play better or not unless you try it. So if it's your first tournament, your expectations should be like have fun. Win or lose is okay. Sleep early. You don't want to play like bullet games or blitz games or play a lot of games before you play your tournaments. You want to sleep early, wake up early. Do not have it in your mind that you have to win, even if you're playing a tournament that seems to be easy. You might be nervous, right? And you just have to record your move and just have like pretend it's like fun. Win or lose is okay. Now, people could drink coffee. It's up to them. Like, for example, like if I cannot drink coffee during the tournament, I may just not perform at all. Like, I may just lose. Doesn't matter who I play, I might still lose. So it depends on each person. People are like prefer tea or anything in the morning. Sometimes people eat during the game. It's probably allowed nowadays. It's okay. Like breakfast or something, especially if the game is long. So if the game is long, you do need to have some kind of like food with you, perhaps. You might play a game for 6 hours. You might be playing a game for like 1 hour. So depending on the time control. Sleeping early, expectation should be low. Do not rush your moves. Maybe you'll be rushing your moves. You would feel like sometimes recording the moves is like distracting you. You just playing the normal games. That's like what you normally do online. But the difference here is actually kind of different experience, right? Online, the moves are being recorded anyway. I don't have to record the moves. sometimes people feel like they are being distracted when they have to write down their moves. Don't let this be a distraction. It comes with like more tournaments to play. And obviously, the more you play tournaments, the more it becomes like it's an like you're used to it, right? So win or lose is okay. Waking early is okay. Sleeping early is also okay. Coffee in between. Take your time with your moves. Do not rush it. Do not get your time in a time pressure though. People sometimes go in a deep think, and you might just lose the game because of the clock. So you just want to play your normal game, just like you would in like when you play online. There's not much to say when it comes to tournament, especially the first couple tournaments. You may lose all your games. I mean, it could happen. You also could win all your games. You just know, and it could be 50-50. So that don't let this be a measure for anything. This is going to be like a learning experience. That's what I tell my students. You may be winning online, and then you play a tournament, you see something else. You see like, well, their opponents are playing better. The reason for that, people over the board may play better because it's a real board, and people are actually going to the tournament not to fool around. You're not playing with a mouse here. You're not being distracted. You're likely to play a game for hours, and people pay money to enter the tournament. So there's a stronger field. Typically, like people would play better over the board. You could also play better. You just don't know it, right? If it's your first tournament. But it's an experience that you need to have. You don't have to play tournaments every week, every month, every 6 months. I used to play for years, ever since 1998, and I stopped in 2018. But I could always make a comeback. But the situation with the family is difficult when you have a sick family member with cancer, so it's not easy. Um, but you do need to have some experience. So I already have the experience back then. If I want to play tournaments, it becomes easy for me, even if I'm a little bit rusty. Uh, Without tournament experience, you're not going any far. You're not going far enough. You just need the experience one way or the other. If the tournament's far away, you may have to travel. If it's different country, you have to go to different country. I had a friend in the past. He wanted to be an IM. That was an old story. He could not get the IM in the US because there was not enough fit at tournaments. So he had to go to Europe. It's easier, even back then and nowadays. So he had to travel all the way to a different country. It's all across the ocean, pretty much, just to be an IM. So you do have to make a sacrifices sometimes if you want to if you want to reach. Yeah, so 1700 US, this level, yeah, the expectations should be low. You also want to consider coaching, to be honest. I do teach, but it doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody else. But coaching is also seems to be key. A lot of the students, for example, I mean, I'm a self-taught national master. Like I had never had coaching to be precise, and I kind of paid the price for that. Like I was like $10 is expensive back then for coaching, and I paid thousands of dollars after that. Like tournaments, losing to people left and right, and I paid a lot of money just to play tournaments. I mean, this is your first tournament, right? So it's gonna be like USCF renewal, not renewal, like USCF. You have to pay for that. If you're young, maybe there's a discount, but there's a tournament fee, right? Tournament fee, and the money goes up, and you might play a tournament, you may not even win, right? Likely you're not gonna win. I mean, hopefully you will. I mean, hopefully you win. But the most people that they enter tournaments, they just feel like they don't have the experience yet. You may actually have like winning games, but you don't win the games. You just feel like you're kind of nervous, not finding the right moves. That's okay. Like it's okay to it's okay for the first couple tournaments, but 700 700 rating, that's obviously coaching is key though, to be honest with you, because it's actually the coach would help you to get better, and over time it could be quick depending on the age. So not much to say except have fun. Win or lose is okay, and do not get depressed or anything. Some people get depressed. They feel like I'm paying money, entry fee, and food, gas, hotel, and entry fee here and there, and just to play like 4 or 5 games, and I lost all 4 and 5. Right? I mean that happened with me though a lot of times. So I end up paying like maybe $600-700 just to like not win a single game. I mean that's, or even if I win single game, I that was back then when I was like younger, right? When I was lower rated player. So the money, you know, becomes like an issue, right? You pay a lot of money for little return. So coaching would help. Maybe if you have a lot of coaching before when you play your tournaments, you maybe putting you in a position where you may actually win your section, right? So you may win like a prize money. I would not worry about this one right now. Like if some people would love to have this kind of stuff. Like do you play a tournament, they win, do you get some more money, pays off for the lessons maybe or for fun. But again, it's probably not relevant for anybody who's just playing their first tournament. So for now, have fun. Win or lose is okay. Just have a coffee with you if you'd like to drink coffee, sleep early, and take your time with your moves. Do not rush your moves. Review your moves before you make the move. Review it in your head before. We could write down on the score sheet your moves, and if you review the move and it looks okay, you could make the moves, and supposedly you could make the move, which is kind of difficult. There's no mouse slip here, so you're likely, and touch move is actually something you have to be aware of. So if you touch a piece, you have to move it. If you touch a piece and you moved it and you know that it's a mistake, as long as you're touching the piece, you could actually take it back, but you have to make the touch move. So let's say you touch a knight, you put the knight on, let's say knight f3, and you figure out knight f3 is a mistake, right? So you could actually still move the knight, put it in elsewhere. This is only maybe a suggestion that may be practical, like, because your opponent could claim once you made the move and you try to take it back, he's gonna claim like a touch move, which means you have to make the move that even if it's losing. I would not worry about this one. Chances are you may not even know like if your move is losing or not. In this level, there's a lot of like blunders anyway, so you're likely to make moves and blunder without even knowing. Like and that's the reason why I said coaching is really key, and working on tactics is really massively going to improve your level. Hopefully that answered your question. I went on to explain it just for you and for anybody else, wants some tip when it comes to like tournament play. The goal is actually not to be nervous or anything, just play your normal game. Hopefully that answered your question. I need to get going. I will be back maybe tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Just checking. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll be back. I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, so to quickly answer the question about tactics, and so when I say tactics, you could follow my YouTube, for example. You could watch my YouTube when I talked about Puzzle Rush or equivalent to that. Chess Tempo comes to mind, though. It's a very good site when it comes to tactics. I would not concentrate about like rating. Some people could have 2,000 rating and they're still pretty bad at tactics. I would not really concentrate on the rating. I would probably be concerned about solving the puzzles. So when you're dealing with puzzles online, chess.com, lead chess, or chess tempo, whatever you want to, or even like tactical books back then for me. Back then for me was no like chess tempo. There was no chess.com, right? Back in the days. You want to be concentrating on solving the puzzles. So when you're doing puzzles, there's a puzzle exists. So you might be able to find something if you're able to find it. During your games, you don't know if you have a puzzle or not. Nobody's telling you anything. So you might actually miss a lot of tactics during your game. And you are. So the goal is actually when you do tactics, a lot of tactics, I would probably hit it so hard on top of having like a coaching. So for me, when I coach is also, I don't like to spend a lot of time in tactics at all. Like, to be honest, when it comes to like students and teaching and people on your level, I don't like to spend some time on tactics. This is something the students have to do. I'm actually working on different aspect on the game, like positional play, openings, I'm also not a fan of opening study. Like people who are beginners want to learn like heavy openings. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna help in your rating or level. It's gonna be a waste of time. Buying courses is gonna be a waste of time. Working on indie games is gonna be like also a waste of time. Tactics is not waste of time. Like this is a tactics will take you all the way, maybe even to 2000, not even like like 1500. You could go all the way to like 2000, like expert. Um, but the point is, you need to know, like, you see the games that I play, right? I was able to see the tactics, right? And even against stronger players, like not I am, and I could see what's happening. Even when I drop something, I'm able to tell. So this is actually what you should be doing in a lot of your games or all of your games, that you're able to see the tactics all the time, left and right. Whether you apply the tactics or whether your opponent is doing tactics and you're able to defend. So it's a deep topic. So rating doesn't mean anything. I would just basically concentrate on doing a lot of puzzles per day for some time, on top of like having a coach and also playing tournaments. But rating 2000 or anything, doesn't really mean anything. What it really means is solving the puzzles as you see them in your games, and that if that were to happen, your rating goes up. You would not be like 700, maybe like 15, 1600, and just work your way on tactics. That being said, sir, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully that gives you a good vision what to do, what to improve. Look over my videos, you and everybody else in here. You might learn, some stuff. It's educational. It's free. If people that doesn't want coaching, that's free. What else to do? But so, I'm offering all the stuff. You want free? You could look up over my videos. You want coaching? You could contact me or find somebody else. That also works. I also stream, so that's also like so YouTube streaming here or there. So that being said, I need to get going, sir. Thank you for everybody tuning in. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, perhaps Twitch, YouTube. I switch between both of them, and we should be back tomorrow. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow. Good night, everybody, and also happy good week. Happy. Actually, there's a holiday. Martin Luther King is coming up. Happy holiday for everybody. So enjoy the weekend, and we.